Hi everyone, I'm Natalie and welcome to Mukbang Mentors. So today I have a very special guest with me who has insider info on all the big name companies that all you fresh grads will want to apply to. So she's going to share all her secrets with me over a meal. And this video is brought to you by GradGoWhere, which is a platform that prepares fresh grads for future careers through job opportunities, tips, and resources. So without further ado, let's welcome Stephenie, who is the co-founder of Talent Tribe, a career discovery platform that gives you an insider look into different companies and careers. So hi Stephenie.
Hello.
So today, for Mukbang Mentors, right? Can you guess what the theme is?
Yep, it's very obvious.
Yeah, it's messy food. Basically, food they eat with your fingers. So, because it's going to be a bit messy, we can actually wear some gloves.
You can go ahead.
Oh, you don't need to wear.
I'm not very good at eating with gloves.
I prefer this. I don't like getting my hands dirty. But okay, props to you, man. I'll let you do the honors of maybe starting off by pouring the sauce onto the ribs.
It's a very uneven pouring.
Yeah. Okay, so while we're peeling this, let me just ask you the first question, which is, what compelled you to start Talent Tribe?
So when we started Talent Tribe, my co-founder and I, we just graduated from SMU. We realized that, hey, there's really a quarter-life crisis going on, where a lot of our friends are just like feeling very lost and don't know what to do in their careers. And what we realized is that actually the job search landscape has really changed a lot. So how we look for jobs today is very different from how our parents' generation will look for jobs. In our parents' generation, it's a way to bring money back. But for us, it's kind of like an extension of our identity. So it's very, very important for everyone, to kind of look for a career that they can actually resonate with. And when that happens, they're kind of stuck because what if I make the wrong choice? So we're wondering, what if we can actually show you what it's like to work inside different companies first, so you can visualize it and you can be more confident that you're able to make a better choice.
With your insider information now, right? How would you prepare for an interview if you were to go for an interview in, say, next week?
Like if I ask you some common interview questions about yourself, what is one of them?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's
a very common one, right?
It is. Then there's also things like what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are some of the most challenging moments from your previous career. I mean, all of these are expected questions, but everyone still gets stumped at them. And what you really want to do is to create a kind of like a handbook or something like that. So when you actually went through a very difficult situation at work that you really grew a lot from and learned a lot from, you don't just let it pass, you actually note it down. So that when you actually need to interview, you actually have something to flip through. And that's something I learned from my SME senior when I was still in school.
Wow, okay. I think that's very useful. Okay, so the next question is, when employers ask during the interview, do you have any questions for me? What is the best answer to that?
We can move on to chicken, right?
Yes, let's move on.
I was staring at it for a while.
Go ahead. I'm gonna try this.
What?
It looks like salted egg, so I'm just gonna try it.
Okay, so this is actually a very common question also. What do you ask when people ask you, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me, Annette?
Okay, so because personally, when I did my interview, and I was asked that question, I just said no. Because I feel like I'm one of those people who just feel scared to ask many questions. And so that was kind of how I did.
People won't discount you just because, this person didn't ask a question. But you kind of lose your chance to potentially impress. I actually came across one interviewee that really made an impression on me. And this person is just going for an intern position. So at the end of the interview, I asked if there's any questions. This intern said, if I were to get hired, right, is there anything that I should be doing between the time you tell me that I'm getting the offer letter to when I actually start work to actually best prepare for this role? I thought that's great because it really shows this person and who they are, right? They are somebody that works hard and wants to do their best in the role.
Yeah, and wants to come in on the first day
exactly
as prepared as they could be.
So what can I do to best prepare and thrive for my full-time job, especially if it's going to be a long-term career? Yeah, so that's one of the questions you can ask.
Okay, the next question is, do you have any tips for someone who has not heard back from any of the companies that they've applied to?
As an employer and having spoken to many employers, I'll say just follow up with them. I feel like it'd be great if during the interview itself, you can already maybe ask about the next steps, etc. So you have a bit more visibility on the process. So if they say something like 2 weeks, etc., then that's a good time for you to actually follow up again.
So one big uncertainty among fresh grads when they're job hunting, right, is they don't even know what career path to take. So what advice would you give to these people?
This is a very real question actually, and it was really one of the main reasons why we started Talent Tribe. When other generations look at our generation today, right, they think that we are a very lucky generation because there's a lot of career options out there. Somebody who studied law can be in a product field. We are not actually confined by what we study. We have a lot of career options out there. But at the flip side of the picture, I think what people do not see and what a lot of young people are actually facing is that there's a paralysis of choice also, where when there's so many things that you can do, then what exactly should you actually do? So I think one of the job seekers I spoke to at one of the panels gave me a very good analogy, which is that they feel like they're standing in a corridor with a lot of doors open. But at the moment they step through one of the doors, the rest of the doors close. Yeah, then I was just like, wow, okay. It's very real. And because of that, they're very scared. To her, I said the same thing, which I'll be saying now, which is, first things first is don't stress yourself too much or don't be too hard on yourself about making the best decision. Because we all benefit from the wisdom of hindsight, right? Instead, try to make the best possible decision you can based on the information you have at this stage of your life. The second thing is, if you really don't know where you can go to, you have to do the internships and things like that for you to actually figure out, right, and have experience. So really expand the amount of things you know about the potential career paths out there so you can start planning for yourself.
I actually think that first one which you mentioned, which is the not being afraid of making the wrong decision, that's also really important because I think a lot of us, we're always very scared to fail,
Yeah, exactly.
So, but there's one thing this quote that I heard, which is that, in life, we shouldn't see it as we win or lose. It's we win or learn. Yeah, so even if you might not have made the correct first step, you can learn from it and then it will eventually lead you in the right direction. Yeah, so the next question is actually kind of related to what you said about having transferable skills and stuff. So, what can someone do to prepare for a role that they have no prior work experience for?
I shall help myself to.
Oh, go ahead.
I think this is a question that applies not just for fresh graduates. It applies even for people with a number of years of experience already. Let's say if you're doing a career switch. I was talking to somebody who was a management associate at Singtel, and when he first applied for the data science role at Singtel, he basically had no prior experience in the data science field at all. So he learned everything himself on Coursera, Udemy, etc. But he didn't just stop there. So based on all of this, right, he actually found a problem in his life and he applied the solution to it. So for him, he really likes to gym. So he went online, he found whatever information, whatever data he can crawl. And with that, he actually came up with a whole visualization thing on when the gyms are going to be empty, when are they going to be packed. And that became his own personal project. And when he applied for the role at Singtel, for example, he had a project to actually talk about. This helps employers to see, okay, this person has no prior experience, but I can actually see how this person can actually thrive in this role. And I think that's the advice that I'll give anyone else who's trying to break into the role as well. Don't just stop at learning it. See how you can apply it. See how it can be an actual concrete portfolio that you can then show to employers and say, hey, I can do this role.
All right, and we have come to the end of the interview. Okay, yes, so we have so much food left still, but don't worry, I'm going to make sure that the crew finishes this for us after this. Thank you so much, Stephenie, for joining us today and giving your sagely advice. Thank you for showing everybody what you should do and do not do.
You're not that lame.
I saw the donut and I was I had to. Okay. Anyways, if you guys have any career topics that you'd like us to discuss, or if you have any food suggestions, do let us know in the comments. And if you are a fresh grad looking for a head start in your career, you can visit GradGoWhere by National Youth Council, which is a one-stop portal for all your career advice and resources that's tailored for youth. So you can follow us on LinkedIn at GradGoWhere for more updates. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.